Hello, here's a quick review and setup guide for the Smonet Home IP PTZ camera, stocked currently on Amazon. What's included? The camera itself, a USB power brick for your region, a long USB cable in the colour of your camera, a network cable, a bracket, and instructions. Tour. The camera itself is a small glossy black or white unit resembling other standard IP cameras. However, instead of going for the sleek all-in-one look, Smonet have decided to go for a more sculpted and robot-like design. I personally love the look. On the back of the camera is a micro SD card slot, which is required for local storage of recordings. We'll come on to that later. There's also a network port for direct link to your router, cable included. Thankfully, the port has lights to show if activity is happening, a must-have if you need to diagnose any problems. There's also a reset button which functions in a couple of ways, either to receive the Wi-Fi code for your home or to reset the camera altogether. There's a standard micro USB adapter slot too. The sides are similar to each other, with a microphone on one side and a small speaker on the other. Onto the front, from the top to the bottom, there's an activity light that illuminates when the camera is setting itself up. You can also choose if the light stays on when the camera is in operation from the app. Then the camera sensor itself, then an infrared emitter to help the camera see in low light conditions. In the black window at the bottom of the camera, there are two multicolour lights to show Wi-Fi and plugged-in network activity. The underside of the camera comprises of slots for heat to dissipate and a metal connector for the supplied bracket. Setup. Here's a setup guide based on the 3 cameras I have set up so far. Firstly, collect everything you need. The camera, the USB cable, the supplied power brick or some other place to plug the USB cable into, your Wi-Fi password, and your phone or tablet. Then there's some admin to do. You need to make sure your Wi-Fi router has a frequency that is 2.4 GHz. The newest type is 5 GHz, which is faster but has a reduced range. If you don't know what this means and you have a standard Wi-Fi router and haven't played with it too much, you'll probably be okay. The router will probably be using 5 GHz and 2.4 GHz at the same time. The instructions say that you need a phone or tablet that is connected to the 2.4 GHz frequency. However, I've not experienced any problems with using a Samsung Note 9, which is on 5 GHz. Step 1. Install and create an account on the MIPC app. I searched for MIPC on Google Play and found it. The icon looks like this, as at 2019. Follow relevant steps to sign up and make an account. You'll need to choose a username and a password, which will be used each time you log on via your device. Step 2. Adding a camera. This step is divided into parts. Take your time and remember that everything you do is undoable, so don't rush or panic. Use a device with a camera and a speaker. Your phone is the ideal candidate. Firstly, plug in the camera, switch it on and place it on its side with the base facing you. You need to be able to see the pattern on the base of the camera. Go to the next step straight away. You don't need it to set up yet, as we'll perform a complete reset before setting it up, just in case there are old settings stored on the camera. The camera may make noises and start talking, just ignore this for now. Firstly, click the Add a Device plus button at the top of the app. Then select PTZ Cameras. PTZ stands for Pan, Tilt, Zoom. Your device will then show a scanner, using the camera to try and find a barcode. Point the camera at the pattern on the base of the camera you want to add. You may need to move the camera closer or further away to help it focus on the pattern. As soon as you hear a beep, the pattern has been read. The ID and the password of the camera will be added into the app for you. If you're having problems with scanning the pattern, you can add the ID and password of the camera manually by clicking the button at the bottom. You're then asked how you're going to connect the camera. I'm going to assume that you're going to add the camera by Wi-Fi rather than a direct cable to your internet router. So click the Wi-Fi button. This part is where my learning will save you some time. My advice after setting 3 of these cameras is to click the prompt tone has been heard straight away, regardless of what your camera is doing. Then click already heard the voice hint too. On the next screen, select the Wi-Fi network you want to connect to. It's usually the one on your phone or your tablet already. Then, in the Enter Wi-Fi password field, type in the password exactly to your internet router. Don't press anything else yet. You may need to scroll down on this screen to see the blue button to continue, but don't press it yet. Now, on the camera, press and hold the reset button on the back. Hold it until you hear a voice saying that the camera has been reset, or hold it down for 10 seconds, whichever is sooner. Then wait for a minute while the camera resets itself. Now get your phone or tablet near to your camera's microphone, the side of the camera with one hole. This is because your phone or tablet is going to send your Wi-Fi network name and password to your camera via musical notes and bursts of sound. Press and release the reset button on the camera once more. The camera will speak, waiting for the wireless config information.
Waiting for receiving the wireless config information.
As soon as the voice has finished, after a second, press the blue button on the app. You'll hear bleeping and perhaps some white noise coming out of your device. Hopefully, after the first or second burst of this noise, you'll see from the app that the camera has understood the noise and is now trying to connect to your Wi-Fi. The camera will also speak, saying that the network details have been understood. When this happens, you can turn down your device's speaker so the noise is not so annoying. After a few seconds, the camera should then connect to the router and then connect to the server. If the camera manages to hear the network config information, you will be fine. If the camera doesn't announce that the configuration was heard, you can try the following. Cancel the process and go back in this video to step 2 and do everything again. But don't worry, you may not have been doing anything wrong, but sometimes another try is needed.
Config successfully.
Out of the 3 cameras I set up, 2 required more than 1 try and then everything worked fine, if I started from the beginning of step 2 again. Step 3. Add camera to the app. Now that the camera has been set up, the last step is to add the camera to the app. You are asked for a nickname and a password for the camera. The nickname is particularly handy if you intend to connect more than 1 camera so you can tell which one is which. For example, living room, garage, front entrance, etc. The password you set up should be memorable and it must contain capital letters and numbers. You can keep to a default password, but I would strongly recommend you change it to something memorable in case you ever want to view your camera over your home network on a PC or a Mac. You'll need the password to view your live stream. You may also be asked to set the time zone for the camera. This is important as the time and date are shown on the live and recorded images and only will be correct if you set the correct time zone. Step 4. That's it. Your camera should now be added to the app. You can choose if you want to save the password you made for the app in step 1 so that it's easier to connect. When first using the camera, you may be asked to upgrade the camera software to the latest version. I had no problems with any of my 3 cameras through this process. You just click upgrade and then select OK when prompted and then wait. After a while, the camera will restart and you're good to go. One of my cameras asked to update twice in a row. Each time this worked correctly. Using the app. The app to view your camera or cameras is straightforward. Simply open the MIPC app on your device, enter the password if required, and then you are shown all the cameras connected to the app. Click on the small image to view the camera full screen. Once viewing the camera in full screen mode, you can select the quality of the stream using the blue bubble at the right of your screen. To move the camera, swipe the image displayed. The camera will move to wherever you're swiping to. Left and right move in faster increments than up and down. The icons at the top of your screen are to view any of the video that is stored on the microSD card that you can insert into the camera and to change settings of the camera you are using. The icons at the bottom of the screen are to view and manage cloud storage if you choose to pay for this, to record current video to your device, to switch on the microphone so you can talk through your camera, to switch on the speaker so you can hear what your camera is hearing, to take a photo of the current screen, and to change camera settings such as brightness and contrast. You can now select the back button on the screen if you want to select another camera. Okay, so here are my final thoughts on the Smonet IP Pan Tilt Zoom camera. The good, the bad and the ugly. The good far outweighs the bad. The good is that it comes in two different varieties, a 720 and a full HD 1080p version. I use the 720 version because that's fine for me. That's far more than I actually need in as far as streaming goes. It has a very good night mode so that it can view dark areas very easily using its inbuilt infrared transmitter. And also you can connect more than one camera to the same app so that you can flip between cameras. The positives are also due to the setup, which is made easier because of the scanned pattern that you can use on the bottom of the camera, and also the fact that the Wi-Fi information about your network is actually sent via the phone's speaker, rather than you having to connect to the Wi-Fi point within the device, like you would do, for example, with a Wi-Fi plug, etc. This makes the setup a lot easier for people who are unfamiliar with setting up other Wi-Fi devices. The fact that you can listen to and speak through the camera makes it very useful for certain applications, and it has a very good angle. The tilt and zoom work very well to move the camera around from place to place. The only negative I have, being a home automation enthusiast, is that the camera stream itself can't be viewed via third-party applications. It can be viewed via a web page, but you can't actually connect the stream to an existing home automation system, as far as I have tried to do so far. However, as I said, the positives far outweigh the negatives, and I would very heartily recommend these cameras. They are incredibly good for their price. They seem quite stable and straightforward to use, and therefore I would give this 5 out of 5. Thanks very much for watching this setup and review, and I will see you next time.